This is a major case of multi-billion-dollar corporation who dismissed a whistleblower. The case is heard only by one judge, and all the decisions, which I consider to be unfair, are taken in respondent's favor. Can I bring witnesses?
Well, not without our leave now at this late stage.
A respondent brought in 4 witnesses 2 years after the deadline, the last minute.
May I have a moment, please?
Yes, of course.
If Zurich brings witnesses, I want to bring my witnesses as well, who would confirm that their witnesses are lying. Will you review the decision to admit witnesses?
No.
But it was taken without panel members.
I am satisfied that I made that decision lawfully and I made the correct decision.
I report fraud, you conclude there is no fraud, and you tell me don't talk to underwriters, otherwise there may be a misconduct. Is that true?
Yes.
Why should I be cut off the network? I mean, it's just unthinkable, isn't it, Ms. Combs?
I think in the context that we're talking about, the trust wasn't there, and that is an important factor. Madam, the claimant was dismissed for his misconduct, for contacting the underwriters and for undermining the project.
Mr. Rickards, how can I undermine something that doesn't exist? In exactly the same way, I should be allowed to bring witnesses. If you can't make witness orders, fair enough. I will write to all underwriters and ask them to come and see who responds. And those who respond, I would...
Okay, at the moment you can't do that, Mr. Borisov.
I just want a fair trial. That's all I want. I don't know what those legal procedures are. What I can see, the trial is not fair. All absurd decisions are taken in Zurich's favor. They don't comply for 2 years. They don't explain, they don't give a single word of explanation where I've been missing for 2 years, and they just get pardoned. Maybe you've given them a Medal of Honor. I don't know.
Mr. Borisov, I've explained that if you're unhappy with my decision, what you need to do about that.
There is no explanation as to why. They've breached the order by 2 years, and you just pardon them. And you say...
Mr. Borisov, I made a decision yesterday which I can reconsider.
Well, first of all, I would like to have an answer as to why there was only one judge yesterday, why all the decisions were taken in Zurich's favor, and why I was told that the reason we have only one judge is because I'm pursuing an unfair dismissal claim. For me, that seems like an intentional false statement.
Okay, so why do you think you're not pursuing an unfair dismissal claim?
Well, because it's also breach of contract, it's detrimental treatment and automatic unfair dismissal. Sorry, I just don't understand. In my original claim form, I have explicitly stated what has happened. It's clear, black and white on what has happened. It's clear detrimental treatment. Why do I need to make a separate application? I mean, it's obvious, isn't it?
Well, it was not obvious at the case management stage, and that is why the case management order records 3 types of claim.
Judge Burns, can I ask you a question? At the case management order, Judge Andiol, I mean, you're constantly referring to the case management hearing. At the case management hearing, Judge Andiol told me to go and destroy evidence. When I asked, how can I destroy evidence if I won't be able to take Zurich to court, Judge Deal said, well, go speak to Zurich, show them the evidence that you have, and agree with them on what you need to delete. Do you think it was a reasonable instruction?
I'm not going to get into any conversations about what happened at that case management hearing.
And you've investigated these allegations and concluded that no fraud was found. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
How many people did you interview to reach this conclusion?
In relation to this matter, one person, that being Rob Kaczynski.
I said, this is the project that I report to be fraud. And you interview only one person who is directly related to this project and no one else. Is that true?
It is true.
You are fully qualified to investigate any internal fraud or any financial wrongdoing, but you've reduced the scope of the whole investigation from the whole project that are reported to be fraud. You've skipped business merits, you've skipped technical merits, you've skipped everything except for personal misbehavior of Susan Fallon. Is that true?
It is indeed, absolutely.
That's not what I said. I said the project is fraud and Susan Fallon is the mastermind. And I expected you to make a thorough investigation and interview everyone involved, everyone, not just one person, not just Rob, but everyone. Interview underwriters, get their opinion, go higher. This is not a sandwich that was stolen. It's something with potentially very high links to higher management. So it's just not comprehensible how you could interview only one person, but that's what you did, isn't it?
It is what we did. It was based on the information you provided.
Alleged savings of $1 million a year, and you said you spoke to Rob, and he said it's an accurate figure.
He said what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
He said it's an accurate figure.
Yes.
And you just accepted it, right?
I also know that Rob Kaczynski spoke to the senior finance executive responsible for working on the project. So Rob asked that individual for information. That individual provided that information to Rob. Rob relayed it to me, and yes, I was placed reliance upon that.
And if Rob told you it would save $1 billion per day, would you believe him?
Probably not, no.
So you would try to get some evidence or get some alternative view on this, wouldn't you?
Depending on what was said, yes, and how credible it was, yes.
But in this specific case, you did not question $1 million per year savings figure.
No, I knew that had been explored and ratified and was relayed back to us. I had no reason to doubt the authenticity of that information.
Your investigation report contains 4 pages, and actually the biggest part of it is is a discussion about the graphs and acronyms. What does it have to do with fraud?
I have no idea is my straightforward answer to that.
These are kind of things you would expect, a proper investigation to do, but you talk about graphs and acronyms, and you attach acronyms as the only evidence. You don't attach Rob's report, do you? You didn't attach anything except for acronyms. Why did you attach acronyms to the report, Mr. Mann?
Because you told us that you didn't understand the graphs and the acronyms that were used in it, so to help your understanding of it, that's why it was provided.
And nothing else. You did not add any other evidence except for acronyms for the graphs, did you?
No, but my report set out a comprehensive explanation and an answer to the 3 points of fraud that you made to us in the prime meeting we had.
So it's 1 + 1.5 + 1, so it's $3.5 million a year from the project in which Susan Fallon intended to invest $2.9 million. This looks like an extremely profitable project, isn't it, Mr. Mann?
Indeed, I understand the project has been successful.
It has been successful, and it's not suspicious that such wonderfully successful project with such a low investment with such incredible payback. There is nothing suspicious there, especially if an in-depth person such as me reports it to be fraud. Does it, Mr. Mann?
Sorry, the question there was...
So the question is it not suspicious to you, Mr. Mann?
No, it wasn't suspicious, no.
Do you know what's the rate of return on standard IT projects?
I don't have that information, no.
And additional evidence clearly shows another person, in addition to myself, the biggest area, specialist in the area, who says there's something seriously wrong with this project, and you just ignore it and you don't reopen an investigation. You are satisfied with just one person, Rob Kuczynski, who told you something. You believed everything what he told you, and you believed everything what he sent you. You concluded there is no fraud, and you refused to reopen investigation. Is that true, Mr. Mann?
It is, indeed.
In your email that was sent together with your investigation results, you warned me of misconduct if I attempt to contact underwriters. Is that true?
No, I wouldn't construe that as a warning, no.
But am I using the wrong words?
Yes, you said it was a warning to you. I said I didn't. No, it was not a warning to you. It was advice to you that if you were about to embark on that course of action, I was concerned that it could amount to misconduct, and I was counselling and advising you to not to do so, but to continue to engage with your line management instead.
Okay, so...
It was not a warning, no.
Okay, it's not a warning. Okay, we use different word. So you counseled me against contacting underwriters and told me that if I do that, it may result in a misconduct. Is that true?
Yes.
But you are just, you're investigating fraud. Why would you counsel me against contacting and telling me it could be a misconduct?
Because I was concerned that that's what you're about to do, and effectively, I didn't want you to do anything that could amount to misconduct.
So you don't see it as intimidation, do you?
No, I do not.
You suspended and cut me off the network for potentially not following reasonable management instructions not to contact underwriters about underwriting 360 project. And that reason looks, it looks absurd, doesn't it, Ms. Coombs?
I don't believe that it does.
Okay, let's assume the instruction was reasonable, which it wasn't. Let's assume I did not follow that reasonable instruction. Why should I be cut off the network? It's just unthinkable, isn't it, Ms. Coombs?
I think in the context that we're talking about, the trust wasn't there, and that is an important factor.
Doesn't it look suspicious to you, Ms. Coombs? The timing of suspension when I was getting new evidence.
I don't believe that it did look suspicious.
I was denied all the witnesses to be brought to the hearing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Rickards, you dismissed me for two reasons. For talking to others about underwriting 360 and for undermining underwriting 360, correct?
Correct.
It's not about me breaking windows or stealing laptops or, putting an office on fire. It's still directly related to the same allegation. Isn't it an apparent breach of Public Interest Disclosure Act, Mr. Rickards?
Well, I'm not particularly aware of the Public Disclosure Act.